Geeks, Chris here, and I've just come back from a Masters of the Universe movie related action figure toy hunt. So I managed to pick up quite a few, not everything, but I was very happy that I managed to get the ones that I did. So we're going to look at the more kids, younger age friendly toys on offer today. So here is Spycore and He-Man and a few others. We're going to open them up and have a look. Boy, we have a lot to get through. So it's a very wet and rainy day as I film this, and it's Anzac National Public Holiday as well here in Australia, so a lot of the shops are closed or the trading hours are basically affected, so not everything is open. The Saturday the 25th was the day that all of the Masters of the Universe movie toys were supposed to be released in retail across Australia, namely Target and Kmart. Websites showed that they were in stock, but again, because of the public holiday, they weren't open on Saturday. Had a look on Sunday, couldn't find anything. Finally on Monday, with the affected trading hours, had to go to a few different shops until I finally found it in this wet and rainy day, but I'm glad I persisted. So I found pretty much all of this and a couple of the Chronicles figures at Target in Subiaco. So these are the Origins figures. So we've got He-Man and Spycore. At the back we got the core, slightly smaller and cheaper figures. We've got He-Man, Beastman and Teela, and these are the action-y feature ones, He-Man and Skeletor. So I think these were $15 each, the Origins figures, and the ones at the back were, actually no, the ones at the back were $15 each. These were $19 and these were $25 each. So it's a very happy man when I managed to finally come across a shop that was selling the Masters of the Universe movie stuff. How awesome is it that in 2026 we can go and see at retail Masters of the Universe, and not only that, but Masters of the Universe movie figures available for adult collectors as well as kids. So I grabbed one of everything, and I'll keep my eye out for the sword, the power sword with the features, and the Battle Cat, and then there's a couple of other Chronicles figures I'm missing, I think. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this haul. Enough talking, it's time to tear open some boxes. As I said, I got these two figures from Target, $19 each, and these are the Origins style figures, which I think were the last figures to be announced. So it took us a bit by surprise. We knew the younger core figures as well as the Chronicles figures were coming, but we didn't know that the Origins figures were coming as well. So the Masters of the Universe Origins figures, they've been out for quite a few years now. They're basically just like you remember them from the 80s, but with added articulation. So yes, here we have He-Man and Spycore. On the back we've got some fabulous art, which looks absolutely awesome. So this is obviously what they're going to look like in the movie. It's a bit of a shame that there's no writing or anything. It doesn't say what are their powers, what's their personality, are they a good guy, are they a bad guy. I mean, you can kind of tell. But at least they're being released before the movie. We've got the familiar red rocks as well, which all of the Masters of the Universe figures had in the 80s, and the new Masters of the Universe movie logo out the top. Doesn't look like they come with a mini comic, so yes, just one accessory each. You can see that my He-Man figure, his loincloth is a bit skewiffed in the packet, but that's okay. And you can see at the back he's got a, well, you might not be able to see on camera, but there's a big knife cut down the bottom. So when obviously someone at Target was opening up the boxes, they got a bit happy with the knife there, but that's okay because we're going to open it anyway. This is awesome. Let's have a look. We've seen these pamphlets before in all previous Origins figures, basically just showing what parts of the figures are removable. So the grey parts you can take off and swap with other characters if you want to do. That's something that we've seen in all Origins figures, and but this is the first time obviously we have had Origins with a movie, because this is the first time we've had a movie on the big screen since 1987. So yes, simple paint applications. It is a cheaper, you know, $19, sorry, rather. Normally Origins figures are anywhere from like $21 to $25 retail here in Australia. Just comes with the one accessory, which is his familiar power sword, but it's pretty awesome that it's got a hinged wrist so he can actually hold it aloft, which is awesome. His head can't look up, but that's okay. And yes, as I said, very simple paint. So just the browns, all in brown, silver, all in silver. And yes, as the pamphlet says, you can remove his waist, so that means I can fix the skirt piece there, straighten it up a bit. and heads can come off and all that kind of thing. So certainly if you want to swap, you're able to do that. So that's another pretty cool feature for the kids, and also us adults, of course. So yes, that's Nicholas Gautazine, I think how you say his name, as He-Man. So it's got his likeness, but there is He-Man in all of his brown and silver. And yes, obviously the power sword can fit in either hand. Just you've got a trigger hand on the right, and the more kind of weapon holding hand on the left. And on the sword, you can just go in the back as well with this new kind of harness that he's got in the movie. So yeah, pretty cool. And then with Spike-Ore, all in one colour purple. This is obviously a bit of a redesign, I guess, of Spike-Ore, but he was one of my favourite villains. Purple spikes, name is Spike-Ore. Comes with a familiar kind of mace, this time permanently attached to his hand, and yes, just braces on his legs, which can also come off, on his shins. Again, as I said, all just done in the one simple colour, no other accessories or anything like that, and the usual Origins articulation that we are used to. So yes, relatively articulated, simple paint applications, but that's why the price is cheaper as well. So pretty cool. These are the only two Origins figures I've seen so far, He-Man and Spike-Ore, but hopefully I'll see more down the line. We've seen all of these characters in the Masters of the Universe trailer, the trailers, the two that have been released so far, and they look pretty awesome. So this is the more kids focused line. I love the packaging design as well. It's simple but really vibrant. They seem to be going with purple for the bad guys and yellow orange for the good guys, and you can see He-Man on the back and Skeletor. So He-Man on the left, Skeletor on the right, and that colour continues on the back as well, with Beastman in purple and Teela and He-Man in yellow. So these are similar in scale to the Origins figures we just looked at, 14 centimeters high, with similar articulation and accessories as well. And yeah, you can definitely see, you look at these characters, you can even just cover their names and you know exactly who they are. So they've got the right colours that we remember from the Filmation cartoon and the toy line of the 80s. There's no mistaking who any of these action figures are. They're not a wild departure. Teela is probably the furthest one, but she's got the whites and the golds and the browns, and she's got the red hair as well. So, but yes, He-Man definitely looks similar. Beastman definitely looks similar to the designs that we're used to. So this is the core line. As I said, these are the only 3 figures they have released so far. Let's open them up. So for $15 or less, you can't go wrong with these more kids focused figures. So yes, we got Teela, He-Man and Beastman all out of the package. So Beastman comes with his whip, which all Beastman figures do. He-Man comes with his sword, as all He-Man figures do. Teela actually is the only one who comes with 2 weapons. She's got a cool little laser or pistol, and yes, her little gold sword. So let's have a closer look at Teela. So obviously she's the thinnest in the line, but a pretty good likeness with Camila Mendez, the actress who plays her, and white and gold, and some pretty cool details on her armor and her boots and all that kind of stuff. There's a holster on her leg, you can see there, but obviously you can't put the gun in it. She's got a trigger finger, so she can hold the gun relatively easily, and yeah, some nice detail on the chest plate and all that kind of stuff. And the white of her kind of pants has a bit of shine to it, as does the gold. So yeah, there's some nice texture coming along on this figures, pretty easily to be posed as well, pretty similar articulation to the Origins figures. There's quite a few plastic ties on these figures as well, so be careful. I cut my thumb trying to cut them all off, but yes, pretty poseable as well. So for $15 or less, you can't go wrong, can you? I mean, if the kids are in the toy aisle and they ask you to buy these figures, even if they're not familiar with them, definitely give them a go, because it's always just good to get the youngsters introduced into the franchises that we all know and love, if we love this hobby, obviously we've got to get to the new generation loving the things that we do. So there's Teela. Here's He-Man, and again, just like Teela, some similar articulation, pretty articulated, again for $15 or less. Not bad at all. Not modular like the Origins figures, so you can't take off their heads or anything like that, but yes, pretty similar with the browns and the silvers and the reds across on the chest there. He does have a removable harness, as we can see, and a removable belt kind of piece, so if you want to take that off and give him a more summer look, he's ready to go swimming. But yes, it definitely has more texture and stuff. You can even see there, obviously, with the silver and the different kind of leather texture on the strap there. Power sword, again, just like the Origins figure, is done all in one colour. Let's just take this harness off so I can show that it can be done. Can I? Yes, I can. So, and it just do it on the other side as well. Oh gosh, it's a bit hard. Okay, now can I take it off? That's the next question. So I don't think his head, you can pop his head off. Okay, cool. So again, if you want to make him a bit like a pit fighter, a bit more naked, there you go. And very similar muscle and articulation, the brown boots and all that kind of stuff. So yes, a pretty cool He-Man figure in the core line. As he should be, Beastman is a chunky fella, and yes, he's got the gold medallion, the white face, the whip, the braces, and the kind of spiky bits, and the kind of red/orange mane and the fur over his body. So ticking all those Beastman boxes. And yes, also he's got a removable belt piece and harness as well. None of these figures have ankle movement, but they do have, the chest, the waist, the shoulders, the wrists, the head, and the knees. So yeah, pretty articulated, just slightly less articulated than the Origins figures. And yes, Beastman's got the kind of chain and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, he comes with his whip, which is basically just a piece of plastic that kind of hangs down. It's not posable, there's no wire or anything like that, and it's all in one colour, but that's fine. And yes, there's nowhere for him to keep that on his body. He's got that's okay, he's got a nice pouch, and as I said, he should be able to. It's a bit awkward to get to, but let's see if I can actually take his belt off so he can go, swimming or whatever, or it's laundry day, he needs to take his thing off there. So he's got his black furry underwear, and it looks like this can come off as well. So maybe it's not a mane or part of his hair, it's just like a skin of an animal or something that he's just using. Hopefully his head comes off. Yep, awesome. And that just pops right back on as well. So there we go, there's Beastman. Obviously he doesn't have a hairy chest. Maybe he shaves or something, he's going for the Olympics, and he doesn't want any drag, he wants to be more aerodynamic. So yes, there is a Beastman in all of his relatively modest glory. And yes, similar, just one paint application on all the kind of armor pieces that he has on his body, but pretty cool. And that's definitely Beastman as we know and love him. I must mention the back of the packaging as well. As I said, purple for the bad guys and yellow for the good guys. And you'll see there's a bit of some tech specs like we've seen from Transformers or G.I. Joe. Lovely Castle Grayskull in the background for the good guys, and Snake Mountain for the bad guys, and they kind of get connected when you put both card backs together. But yeah, we can see we've got, it doesn't say what these are rated out of 10, but I assume that's strength, kind of weapons mastery, that looks like kind of tech knowledge, magic potentially, and speed. So He-Man, 10 out of 10 for power, strength, and weapons. That makes sense. 6 out of 10 for tech. He needs to call the IT department whenever he has issues, I guess. Magic, 4 out of 10, and speed, 2 out of 10. So he's pretty slow, but that's okay. He's strong. So yeah, pretty cool that they included that. Before I move on, just want to show a quick comparison with the Origins figures and the new core figures that these are. You can see the sizes, the height wise, are pretty similar, but these are obviously more human proportions. These are more for nostalgic, what the original vintage figures from the 80s look like. This, the big buff, bulky bodies, but these are more like yeah, actual humans look like today. So you can see that the costume is very similar. Obviously there's a few more paint applications here. It's a bit hard to see on camera, but there's a couple of different browns on that newer core figure as well. So yes, pretty awesome. And obviously the head sculpts are very different. This is a lot more, again, human looking, and not too exaggerated, not so soft in the features. So very impressive actually with the head sculpts and the hair and all that kind of stuff. So for 15 or bucks or 12 bucks, depending on where you buy them from, these figures are absolutely awesome. Lastly, what's a kid's line without some action features? So this is Havoc Staff Attack Skeletor and Power Sword / He-Man. You can see that Skeletor comes with 2 accessories, He-Man comes with 3, and the costumes are slightly brighter with some more added dash of colour. So we've got a bit more brighter purple on Skeletor here around the chest piece and his gauntlets, and a bit more white kind of lightning effects, and the same with He-Man. He's got kind of blue and white, and obviously we've got the purple and yellow and similar packaging colours as well to what we just looked like. Same basically design on the back there, and a lovely big kind of cutout, a lovely square hole there, and that's because the action features, you can see that there's a little ridge on the back for your thumb where your movement, and they basically just slash. So very much like the 80s, action features were a big feature of the time. And then on the bottom we can see the other figures which I haven't yet seen. We've got Battle Cat and Roton, and yes, so pretty cool. So I've actually got Battle Cat waiting for me, so I'm going to pick that up in the coming days as I record this. But I haven't seen the Roton, which is a very famous Masters Universe vehicle. We saw it in the trailer as well. This is a slight redesign. Let's open up these play feature and have a play with the features. So similar articulation to the figures, the core figures that we just looked at, including the swivel wrist hinge there. So that's pretty awesome. So obviously just this arm doesn't have articulation at the elbows, but everything else is, apart from the waist as well, is just like the figures that we just looked at. So similar articulation, and he's got a shield there with some scratch marks on it, and that just kind of clips on his bracer there. And the idea is that you will put this kind of a slashing effect, that just slips on. So there's a couple of holes that you'll see there, so that just slips over there like that. And yeah, basically depending on where you put his hand, there is a little tab at the back there. I just find it easier just to twist with this whole waist, and you can just go like that. And if you want to put it like that, obviously it's a slightly different, it's just chopping. So yeah, pretty cool. It doesn't make any sounds or anything like that obviously, but yeah, something a lot more bright and stuff for the kids to play with and have their little battles, which is awesome. Here is Skeletor, and yes, he looks pretty cool as well. Obviously similar scale, and again just the similar articulation. He's got the blue sinewy figure look, which is great. He's got some actual cloth goods on his cape and a little piece on the back of the hood, and the rest is just plastic. And yes, similar articulation, which is great. And he just comes with his Havoc staff, pretty gnarly looking. And again, he's got the little dial at the back there, but yes, you can just do the chopping action, or you know, just do it that way. And for a slightly different, you know, he could be bashing someone. And he comes with 2 of these effects as well, which can basically just be clipped on anywhere, I'd say. Ugh. Can they go on both? This is the first time I'm doing this, so let's just see if this actually works. I suppose there's a couple of little points there, sorry, He-Man. So it's just clip them on there, and again, similar to the He-Man, just got a bit of a slashing. Kind of looks like he did in the trailer, you know, when those two fight. It looks pretty awesome. So yes, some lovely slashing effects that can clip on onto their weapons, and yeah, pretty cool. Nice. Look at that, isn't that absolutely awesome? So we've got 3 He-Men, a Spikor, Skeletor, a Teela, and a Beastman from 3 different lines. So the Origin style figures, which are more like the vintage toys. We've got the play features here with the little added effects, and we've got the 3 core figures, which are the cheaper toys for the kids as well. So all of this for the kids or the adults really, but it's just so good that there's a new Masters of the Universe movie. Every time I see toys like this on the shelves, I'm a very happy 50-year-old man. I've got more Masters of the Universe movie toys reviews coming. I've managed to have a quite successful toy hunt in the last week or so, so definitely more movie toy figure reviews coming. Thanks for watching all the way to the end. Are you going to get any or all of these figures, or are you just going to stick to the Chronicles line, which is the more adult focus line, or are you all in these kids focus lines as well? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm a very excited Motu fan, and it's fabulous that we can have all of these on offer. It's lovely. Awesome. Okay, goodbye geeks, catch you the next one.